We're getting started here soon. We're due to start at 5:30, so we're actually a little bit ahead of time. Considering the fact this is Las Vegas and nothing starts on time. Thank you guys all for tuning in.
I'm going to call up the men's bodybuilders. We got any men's bodybuilders in here? Bodybuilding division, men's bodybuilding. We still only got two? There's only two. I know who's the, we have three. Look at that. Three men's bodybuilders. Four. Okay. Do we have, wait, where's our bikini girls at? I can't hear y'all. Where y'all at? There it is. All right. We still got some people showing up, so please be patient. Also, there's more room back over here on this side if you want to get on this side as well. Off to the left. We got men's physique in the house. I can't hear y'all. Where y'all at? All right. If you want to stand, please stand in the back and make room for people who want to sit on the floor, please. Who's here from the East Coast? Where's the East Coast people at? Okay. Midwest? Who's from the Midwest? Got no Midwest. Okay, no Midwest.
All right, everybody. As everyone is still coming in, waiting for a few more people arriving as you guys travel a long way or short, depending on you're from the East, Midwest, or the Pacific Coast, or your locals here in Las Vegas. My name is Mark Durando. I am the owner of Stage Ready Media, and right now, this posted seminar is now live streaming. So this is where you guys can all come back to watch it after you get done with the show, which I know most of you are going to be so focused on that. Especially right now, we have such an amazing panel of judges with Tamer here, MuscleContest. We have Sandy, amazing group of individuals that are going to honestly be super helpful for you guys here. Especially you all been prepping for, I don't know, 16 to 20 weeks or a whole year. Some of you just probably prepped like 8 weeks ago. So with that being said, we're looking forward to having you all here. What was that? Oh yeah, we gotta get the dragon out here. Flex is hiding in his cave. Get going. Can anybody hear me in the back now? That fan's blowing hard, I know, and the AC's up. We gotta keep this place cool. That good? All right. So I had to turn off the music a little bit too. But we got the volume control now. Good?
Just stand by for one moment. We're waiting on somebody here. We're going to start in just a second.
Hey guys, so we're waiting on a few more guests right now. Laura Lee just arrived at the building, and Flex is in his office on his way out soon. So we'll get started as soon as our VIPs arrive. And I see Flex's wife right there right now, and Laura Lee. So give us a few more minutes, we'll be up and running. Here's Miss Zapatos, or like we call her, Champ Patos.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dragon's Lair. So first, I just wanted to thank you guys all for coming out. I know a lot of you guys are in peak week. A lot of you have traveled all across the country, around the world, to be here today, and we appreciate all of you coming through and showing support for our event, for our gym, and for our community. We're hoping to make this an annual event, and this is going to be years to come. So we're very, very blessed to be here in Las Vegas. We're very blessed to have MuscleContest here supporting us, as well as us supporting them. I was fortunate enough to turn pro in 2022 at the USA's, so it is a show that I hold near and dear to my heart. And the one piece of advice that I would just share with any one of you is be in the moment, because just as fast as it comes, it goes. And one regret that I have in my life is not being in the moment and always looking forward to that next show, to that next placing. So I know everybody here wants to win. Obviously, there's only going to be 2 pro cards per class, so there's going to be a lot of losers, but there's a win and there's a lesson to be learned in every single situation. So just go out, have fun, enjoy it, be present, and we're gonna have a kick-ass week. So without further ado, I would like to bring up 7-time Mr. Olympia, owner of the Dragon's Lair Gym, the one, the only, Flex Lewis.
What's up, guys and girls? I'm sorry we don't have, unfortunately, anybody that can translate my English accent on the big screen today, but if you can understand me, every nod, nobody nodded, so thank you. Anyway, listen, this gym was built in Boca Raton, Florida, for myself, to chase a dream, and that's what all you guys and girls are doing here, chasing a dream. And the backstory for that dream started in Wales, UK. Came to this country, and again, I seen the glass half full, and I was able to not only chase my dream, but push that bar much further than I ever imagined. And I'm looking at faces in this crowd right here, and I've been doing this for 20 years now. So I've seen faces in crowds looking at me that ended up standing next to me on stage. So again, this is your story, and this is your dream. You're here today, you've turned up today for the reason of pouring into one another to get that knowledge, so you get to see that version on the stage this weekend, and then go forth to chase that next version. There's levels to everything, and right now, this is the top of the tree to your level. We're a couple of days away from standing on the biggest stage ever in amateur in America, USA's, the Mr. and Miss USA's. And right behind me right here are judges that have judged me all over the world, giving me the critiques that I've gone back to the drawing board, made the improvements, and went on stage to again defend my title. So I won't harp on any longer. We'll have a lot of talking to do. Again, I know it's very hot in here, but welcome to the home of champions, the Dragon's Lair. This was created for athletes And again, I've been very, very blessed in the last 5 years of opening up this gym to see people start off in their first show, go on to achieve their first amateur win, go on to the USA, win their pro cards, win the pro show, and now on the Olympia stage. So I hope, and I know, there's going to be many of you in that room that's going to emulate that storyline. So from me to you guys, thank you for turning up. Thank you for being a sponge, because even at the top of the tree, if you aren't a student of the game, you're not going to improve, and you're not going to be a vicious version of yourself the year before. So from me to you guys, thank you very much. Have fun, ask questions. There's no such thing as a silly question. I've asked them, you asked them, and we're all here again to point to one another. So thank you very much, and I leave the mic back to Brock. Thank you.
Let's get a loud round of applause for Flex Lear. So the next gentleman that I want to introduce is someone who was a phenomenal bodybuilder. He could have taken it all the way up to the Olympia stage with Flex, but instead he decided to pursue giving back to the industry, to giving back to the competitors, and that is none other than the president of MuscleContest, Tamer El Gundi.
Hey guys, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Welcome to the NPC Worldwide FB Pro League, the greatest organization in the world. And MuscleContest is the largest promotion of fitness events from the NPC and FB Pro League in the world. We currently have 258 events in 14 different countries. I produce the Olympia, some of you know that. But the most prestigious title in the whole world, in my opinion, is the Mr. USA's. It's a lot of history on this title. Who's going to be competing on the USA's this weekend? Yeah, that's awesome. So, I can tell you that. We, here on the NPC and the Pro League, we have many great shows. But the Mr. USA has brought more Olympians than any other show around the world. Some of the girls here know Courtney King, know Latoya Watts, Hugh Heath, Derek Lunsford, Chris Cormier, Derek Lunsford. The people that win the USA's for sure become a legend on our sport, and maybe you have the chance to become the next great star of the NPC and FB Pro League. We're going to be talking about one of the things that many of the competitors here do not fully understand or pay enough attention. That's posing and presentation. If you're not spending enough time on posing and presentation, you're probably never going to be a great competitor, okay? Many of you guys think the judges are political. That's complete bullshit. The reason that some people that look worse than you may be beating you is because they pose and they present their bodies better. You're going to learn many lessons from some of the best judges in the world. You have Sandy Williamson, that was my mentor here. You have Patrick, you have Jack, that's an Olympic judge, Veronica, really some of the best judges in the world. But I'm going to leave you with one sentence here, that if you can learn one thing, this is what you should learn. Posing is an art form. It's the art of hiding your flaws. And every single one of you guys have flaws. And showing your attributes. And if you can do that, you're going to be a great competitor. Thank you very much.
All right, so that being said, the one, the only, Joey Belt, he is going to kind of introduce himself and what he does for our industry. He's one of the top posing coaches in the entire world. We're super fortunate to have him as our resident posing coach here at the Dragon's Lair. And then I just am going to give the panel an opportunity to introduce himself, and then we'll jump right into it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I am Joey B with K&J Center Stage. My other partner here, Christina Mendoza. Some of y'all have worked with her. Oh, yeah, there she is. We are very happy and excited to have y'all here. And like Head Judge Tamer has said, it is very important that you guys practice this craft. We get caught up with the nutrition, the cardio, the training, and everything has to be one-dimensional with the posing as well, making sure that you make time for that. And sometimes I know we can be tired, grumpy, and that's the last thing that some of y'all want to do. But it's imperative that you guys get that done. Because, like the head judge said here, they're gonna notice. They're gonna notice who's gassed out and where my men's bodybuilders at. Because last time I saw it, we only had 3 of them. What? Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. So, you guys know that they push y'all round for round. So make sure you guys are practicing your posing, all right? I appreciate everybody that showed up to the Dragon's Lair, and we look forward to assisting you here soon and shortly. We're gonna go ahead and pass the mic, and everybody's gonna introduce themselves. Very happy and blessed to have y'all here. Thank y'all. So everybody that's on the panel, this one?
What a treat. I love me some public speaking. Hello everybody, Laura Chapados here. Thank you so much for being here, and you should thank yourself for being here because it just shows your commitment to the sport. And I just got off an incredible podcast with a great friend of mine, one of the greatest athletes in the sport, and I was just talking about the love and the commitment for it. You know, I've been having a very long career. I'm not supposed to talk for very long, but I've had a very long career, 11 years in the sport. There's been up and there's been down, but I've learned every single time. So showing that you're here, willing to learn a little bit more, it means that you have potential that you want to reach, and I want to congratulate you for that. And do not hesitate. We're all here for you guys, incredible panel of judges, and that is what Dragons Lair create. They create just an incredible environment, supportive environment where you guys can feel safe and be the best version of yourself. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this seminar. Thank you again for joining us tonight.
Real quick, go ahead, Sarah, stand up. Let me introduce my wonderful fiance, Sarah McHale here. Thank you very much.
I do have to say, I'm not a competitor, but I have the most respect for each and every one of you in this room, so I'm excited to watch some of you that compete this weekend.
Tough act to follow between Laura and this beautiful woman here next to me. But all jokes aside, my name is Jack Sullivan. First and foremost, I've been a competitor just like each and every one of you here. I started bodybuilding at the age of, 13, 14, did my first show at 18 years old, won Mr. Teen Pennsylvania, went on from there. Competed for a long time, but I also enjoyed the business of bodybuilding. It's something that I wanted to be involved with. I won the Mr. Pittsburgh, and it was gonna take me time to be a heavyweight for my light heavyweight, so I called this guy, we call him Dr. Udit, Gary Udit, and I said, hey, I just wanna be involved. I'll sweep the floors, I'll clean the bathrooms. He said, my man, you just won the Mr. Pittsburgh, why don't you come down? He said, my man, come down and test judge. And I've been very fortunate since then to do the right things and carry myself the right way and become a good judge. And after retiring from bodybuilding as a pretty decent national heavyweight, I've been very blessed to become a pro league judge. This will be my 6th Mr. Olympia coming up this year. I think besides Tyler, I might be the youngest Olympia judge. And but I'm an athlete first. And for those of you that have been judged by me before, you know that you're going to get posed, you're going to get compared, I'm going to make you work. Just like Joey and the guy said, you better not come in flat, you better not come in over-carved up, because you'll be sweating on stage by the time we are done with you. But we are here to help you guys. We want to see everybody be their best. That is our ultimate goal of all these judges up here, is we truly want you to be your best, get as much out of this sport as you possibly can, because it is a very beautiful thing. We tell everybody, I tell everybody, own it, or it can own you. So be objective, take the feedback, don't lie to yourself. You all do it, all right? But we're here to be honest with you, to make sure you're going down the right path and improving and enjoying this sport that we all love so much. So I'm excited to be here. We're gonna have a great evening. We're gonna have an incredible USA Championships, no doubt about it. So thanks to Flex, Tamer, and the whole crew for having us out here.
I don't know if I can follow those two, my goodness. Hi, I'm Lisa Malloy. I'm an IFBB pro, actually originally figure pro, and then my last pro show was bikini back in 2021.
Since then, I've been an IBB Pro judge since 2021, and super excited to judge all of you that are going to be here this weekend. My best advice would be, you've done so much work, right? 12 weeks, 14 weeks, 16 weeks, 20, however long that you have had the diet. Don't be nervous. Just have fun. Like, literally be back there. Take a deep breath. If you're nervous when you step on stage, look for me. Look for Sandy, look for Veronica, we'll all be smiling, okay? So we're gonna try and put you in as much ease as we possibly can to make your experience the best ever, because this literally is the best national show of the year. MuscleContest is always top notch, so you're in the right spot. And I look really forward to seeing you this weekend, and let's hope everyone's a winner.
Okay, again, I just want to welcome everyone. This is an amazing turnout. And one of the things that you see now that you didn't see like 20, 30 years ago is the amount of resources that is open to our athletes. We have the best pros in the world. They are always coming, always giving, back to all of you. So the thing is, just take advantage of it and learn from it. Just like Jack said, you want to be a sponge and soak it up. So again, welcome. I do have to do this though really quick. Who is older than 44 in the room? Okay, everybody else was not born when I started judging. Just wanted you to know that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. Tamer El-Gandi, Flex, thank you for having us. And thanks to Tamer, I am now the head judge of MuscleContest. As Tamer mentioned, MuscleContest is the largest promoter of bodybuilding worldwide. Two-time Olympian, IFBB Men's Physique Pro. I'm excited to be here. Flex again, Dragon's Lair, Tamer El-Gandi. You should give yourselves a big round of applause. We're super excited to work with you, and for you. And we're looking forward to turning a lot of you pro this weekend. Let's go, baby.
Hi everyone, Veronica, I'm the head judge for MuscleContest and statistician for International MuscleContest. We're looking forward to talking with all of you today, and of course looking forward to seeing you all on stage tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and in your future shows to come.
Hi, my name is Dominic Macascio. I'm a registered dietitian and a Olympia level prep coach. I originally wrestled at a very high level in high school and college, and from dealing with horrors of cutting weight at a high level, that sparked my passion for dietetics and bodybuilding. And then I eventually crossed over into competing. And then from there, I quickly saw that there wasn't so much accredited information going on in the competitive space. So since then, for the last 15 years, my fiance and I and my team, my two head coaches, Adam and Tolga, have been running a successful prepping and functional health coaching company called Best Built Fitness. And that's really our main mission statement and passion.
What's going on, guys? IFBB Pro Chiron Holden. First off, I want to say thank you guys for coming, waiting the Vegas heat. This weekend, the show this weekend has a special place in my heart. I have the privilege of going pro at the 2017 USA's. And just to mirror what Brock said, be present, because when I think back about my journey, just the time coming here in those early days, most valuable to me, so definitely be present. And I think posing could be the equalizer. With our physiques, we have what we have, but the way that you pose can make the difference between beating someone with a better physique. So definitely take the opportunity to ask the questions here. You know what I mean? So that's it.
What is up, everyone? My name is Amanda Machado. I work alongside my fiance Dominic, and I also compete, and I am so happy to be here representing women in bodybuilding. And when I say women, when we women step on stage, we represent all of us, all categories, from fit model to figure to bikini.
So anytime that you guys see each other, just compliment each other because what we do is very unique and we should all be united. Some of the best friends that I have in the industry, they're all competitors. A lot of males too who really support females too. So that's my 2 cents. Really support each other because what we do is really unique. And I'm so happy to be representing women's physique and especially women's bodybuilding. Because remember, you always started with them. I don't know if you guys remember Corey Everson, Linda Moray. So we started from women's bodybuilding. So remember that, guys, every time that you see them. And without further ado, here is Levina. She is 3rd in the world right now as a women's bodybuilder from Brazil.
Hi, thank you so much for this invitation. I'm so happy to be here, share this moment with you. I saw many Brazilian friends here. Brazilians were everywhere. So I love Brazil, but now I live in USA. I'm very happy, so proud for representing women's bodybuilding. We, of course, I have hard work. I hope so soon. I will win I am in Miss Olympia, absolutely. Because I believe in my team, I believe in my coach, I believe in my friends. Thank you so much, Adam, Dom, Amanda. This is my family now. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christina Mendoza. I am an IFBB pro, also posing coach. I pose here out of Dragons. I see a lot of my clients' faces and new faces too. So thank you guys for coming out. I'm excited. Let's get to work.
All right, guys, so now let's get into the fun stuff. I'm going to have Joe Sullivan here. He is our resident power lifter and our resident asshole, so he's gonna keep us on task. He's gonna make sure that this keeps moving smoothly. We're going to break out into divisions. Basically how it's going to run, we're going to ask a couple volunteers to come up in front of the group. We also have some pros who may hop in, we'll see. And we'll have the coaches, judges, and other athletes break down kind of what we're looking for, how to best present your physique, and any adjustments that you can make. So we're gonna get into divisions. Once we wrap up that, we'll break off into individual groups. We'll give everybody an opportunity to speak to any of the experts, and we're gonna get rolling. So let's have a great time.
And what a way to start off. We will be starting with men's bodybuilding. I would like to just point out, as a perfect example, great powerlifter, all-time world record holder, really good in that regard, terrible bodybuilder. That's the importance of posing. I managed to win my first show with the help of this guy. So pay attention to every single piece of advice that you may hear tonight, even if it isn't specifically for your division. We will start with men's bodybuilding, but a men's bodybuilder may benefit from taking some type of information from a women's physique athlete, from a female bodybuilder, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot to be gained here. So the primary players for men's bodybuilding, we will start with Jack Sullivan and Tamer. Posing coach will be Joey, and we are going to be having Dom really dive into the discussion in how to manipulate the dietary requirements and guidelines heading into the show. And one of my favorite men's open bodybuilders, going to be the demonstrator right now, is Chris Massaro. Let's see how this big guy looks right now.
Hey, Dave White, you want to come up and be my dummy? No pun intended. Jack.
Yeah, give him another round of applause. This guy's about 2 days out from stepping on the biggest stage. So obviously with bodybuilding, first and foremost, we are looking for muscularity. All right, we have the different divisions from bodybuilding, 212, classic, men's physique, but bodybuilding, open bodybuilding, we are looking for muscularity. We're looking for a complete physique, top to bottom, front to back. Then we're talking about structure, we're talking about shape, we're talking about symmetry and conditioning. But first and foremost, we want to see that complete physique, top to bottom. All right, when you go through the mandatories, you guys should know what they are. We're starting with those quarter turns. Very, very important. And when you're looking at him, just in his front mandatory here, I know Joe's ready to jump in on this, but we want to see a couple things. We want to see those round cap shoulders, that full chest, that nice V taper from the top coming down into his waist, that small waist, the flared quads. You see the quads popping right there, and then tapering it down from the top to the bottom.
Mic check. All right, quarter turn to the right. Now, when you do your quarter turns, you want to make sure that, face the front again, front relaxed, quarter turn to the right. Your midsection, you want to make sure you're keeping that midsection super, super tight at all times. Keep that midsection glued to the spine.
Listen, I'm going to echo what Joey just said there, because you've seen some of the best bodybuilders in the world not win certain shows because they're not controlling their midsection. When they're going through the quarter turns, when they're transitioning at all times, that midsection, male or female, bodybuilding or bikini, you got to control that waistline. Now, as he's in his first quarter turn, we are looking for the shape, we are looking for that symmetry. As you're looking at him across his shoulders are parallel. Sometimes you see a lot of guys dipping that shoulder. We don't want to see that. Stay parallel across your shoulders, show that width. You see at the same time, he's keeping that chest nice and full, keeping his waist nice and tight. So you see that taper from across his shoulders down to his waist, full glutes, and then you see the separated quad to the hamstring there.
The way you want to visualize this, it's like an upside down triangle, shoulder to that waist. That's the way you want to think about this. Quarter turn to the right. Now, the other thing is, when you're doing your quarter turn to the right to the rear, another thing is making sure that you don't go flaccid. Relax. So, that being said, quarter turn to the right. I'm sorry, stay the other side. Quarter turn to the right. No, the other side. Your left side. Face the side. Yep, the first quarter turn. Quarter turn to the right. So as he's turning, you want to make sure that you're keeping your lats somewhat flared. Okay? You never just want to drop your arms or relax, ever, all right?
100%. You don't want to deflate on stage, especially as a men's bodybuilder. You're always trying to look your biggest. So when you're looking at his back pose here, we're talking about the same thing from the front, right? Starting with the shoulders. Nice cap shoulders. You look at those rear delts, nice slide lats. And one of the things that we see missing a lot of times, folks, is that posterior chain from the mid-trap down to the lats, down to the lower back and the glutes. Males and females, it's always the posterior chain, 9 times out of 10 that we see lacking that development, but not in this case here. So you see he's got the lats pulling in down to his waist, nice and tight. Lower back is on point. You see his glutes are flexed. He's not rolling his hips forward, he's pushing them back, but still keeping enough tension on there that you see that separation. His hamstrings are nice and wide, nice and thick. Everything's on point here, like Joey said, that upside down triangle from his shoulders down to his waistline. We'll have him take another quarter turn to the right.
Midsection, midsection, midsection.
And again, just like he did on his first quarter turn, you're looking at his shoulders are parallel, right? He's turning nice and wide, keeping his waist nice and tight. His shoulders are even the entire time. He's not dipping one shoulder, not leaning either way. He's controlling his breathing. He's trying to take shorter, controlled deep breaths, keeping that waist nice and tight. You see that taper into his hips there. Quads are full, separated through the hamstrings. Really, really solid quarter turns here.
Quarter turn to the right. And front double bicep.
Yeah, round of applause. Absolutely.
Reset. Front double bicep.
The front double bicep, is one of the most essential poses in all of bodybuilding, whether it's men's bodybuilding, classic 212. This is the first pose that you see. And he's nailing it right now. He's got the round, full arms, biceps, triceps. You're gonna notice right away that he has his elbows in the right position, slightly above, if not in line with his shoulders. Our hands are bent just perfectly there. He's not open up wide, he's not enclosed too tight. We talk about negative spacing. His negative spacing is perfect. He's got his shoulders rolled forward a little bit there. He's flexing those lats right down into his lower rib cage, into his hip. He's doing his best right now to control that breathing. We have him posting like crazy, keeping his waist in. He can relax. And he's keeping his waist nice and tight. And at the same time, very, very important, he's sitting back on those hips. Super important, you guys. Second you hit that pose, sit back on those hips, hit those hip flexors, and he's pushing his knees out, pushing his quads out. And that's why you're seeing that separation up and through here, down through those quads. So again, like Joey said, that upside down triangle down into his waistline. It's the same thing on the back, on the bottom side of it. It's the triangle where the quad sweep is nice and wide, going into that small tapered waist right there. He's got the calves to go with it to really complete that pose. And relax.
Front lat spread.
Very strong pose right here. Again, look at his shoulders. Cap delts, front delts, side delts, big full upper chest separated through the bottom of his chest. His lats are on point. He's keeping that chest up, keeping his waist in tight. And you're really seeing, again, that upside down triangle from the shoulders to the elbows down into his waistline. You see that he's sitting back on those hips. So you see in the hip flexors, you're seeing that quad sweep. It's something that you see a lot when somebody goes hit that front lat spread. The second they pull forward, their hips pull forward, and they completely wash and flatten themselves out. They lose that separation through the quads, through the hip flexors. You can see, especially if you're on this side, how far he's sitting back and tilting his pelvis back on that, keeping those hip flexors engaged, keeping those quads on point through that pose, and at the same time, keeping his chest up, doing a good job, keeping that waist tight. Get some water. And as a judge, especially when it's really close, who watched the Chicago Pro this last weekend? All right, very, very, very close show between our top two, top three guys. And so as you get through that as a judge, you start breaking it down pose by pose. So I literally sit there with the top three guys. All right, front lat spread, front double bicep. Who's winning one pose at a time? So every single pose matters, but these front two poses are so important, all right, because they set the tone right out of the gate.
All right, side chest. Now, same thing here. When he's turning to the side, what is one of the things that a person needs to make sure that they're controlling? What? Midsection.
And people think, bodybuilders think because their arms are over their midsection, that we can't see that that stomach is pushed out. All right, exhale, blow that air out, because what's gonna happen, you're gonna see a little negative space, you're gonna see that serratus coming in, you're gonna see those lines from his shoulders to his pec, down to his midsection, across the legs, everything's gonna be flaring out, everything's gonna look the way that it's supposed to look on there. And same thing on that side, he's keeping the chest parallel. Staying big across his shoulders the entire time there. He's pushing that knee over across his other legs. You see he's got that hamstring flaring out, putting enough tension on the glute at the same time. And Joe, you can speak to this, relax. You see a lot of guys trying to play this game, trying to overflex the glute. Listen, your side chest isn't a glute shot.
Thank you for saying that.
It's nice if you can get that in and you have that deep insertion point, that looks great.
Because sometimes you have to pay attention to that, because if you are trying to engage that glute, depending on the person, that hamstring will pull and you will lose that hamstring. So you gotta make sure you're paying attention to that. Just because you're trying to get some glute striations on the side, now you're risking losing a majority of your hamstring.
It throws the whole balance of the pose off, because your hips are tucked underneath and then you're leaning too much. So don't worry about your glutes. We're not looking for striated glutes on that side chest. If you got it, great. But we want to see that big chest, we want to see the arms, we want to see that hamstring hanging down more than anything.
Back double bicep. Ooh. Is this the shot that wins it all?
This back double bicep, this is the differentiator right here, Big Joe. Nailing it.
And on that note, cuz, we're gonna wrap this one up. We're moving into classic physique.
We are moving fast. I'm giving too much information. I apologize. These guys are rushing me here.
Do we have a classic physique competitor that would like to volunteer? Come on down. Brock, you want to get
Who wants to see the director of business development do this?
He's flat. I'm gonna preface this.
You didn't even need to cheer him on, man. He was sliding his shoes off before anything. Yeah, hold on a second.
He's 8 days out, or whatever it is, for the Tampa Pro. He's very flat. Everybody
If I have one athlete tell me they're flat right now.
Wait, hold on.
Right?
I thought you weren't ready. The man got posing trunks on.
Good job. Great job. I think came out here to, like Ramon to the Pittsburgh over there.
He got posing trunks on. Oh, we got two other competitors. All right. Okay. All right. All right, gentlemen. What do you want to do? You want to change or should we just?
No, we've gone through the quarter turn, so let's just get to it.
Back double?
Absolutely, we'll turn them around. We'll go right to
gentlemen
it.
face the rear.
We've done the front double bicep and classic. You got the front double, you got your side chest. We're picking up right on the back double bicep.
Back double bicep.
First thing first, guys, is how you set your feet. Should be a little wider, maybe just shoulder width apart. That back foot is back just on that kickstand. You see they're all flexing their calves. We got to get my man on the right hitting that calf a little bit better. Hips are tucked in, squeezing those glutes. Hamstrings are popping. Elbows are all in the good place, just in line slightly above those shoulders. You see that everybody's rolling. Their elbows forward a little bit, getting that width through their back, tensing down, squeezing the lower back at the same time.
And reset, guys. Do it again. Back double bicep.
One of the biggest mistakes we see when people hit a back double bicep, guys, is people leaning way too far back. And all of a sudden, they're crunching down on their lower lats, and they're completely destroying that pose for themselves. So these guys are doing a really good job. You see how he's staying upright, so he's squeezing his lower lat there. You see the separation through the entire pose. It's very, very good. You'll hear, relax, guys. You'll hear a lot of posing coaches say, remember, the judges are below you. We are. You're on stage, we're not on stage with you, but that doesn't mean you should be leaning so back that you're destroying your own shots and destroying those angles, because we want to see that width and that depth.
They want to see the width, not only laterally, but also horizontal, all right? It's very important. Sometimes people they hit a back lat spread as well, which we'll probably get into. I mean, it's classic physique, but we'll have them do it. And then sometimes they're leaning so far back that everything just collapses and it gets condensed.
There's a fine line too on how much you're trying to roll forward to get that width, and then you start flattening your back out at the same time. And the back double bicep is the one pose where it's essential to get with a good posing coach to nail that down, because how you set that up and how you roll your elbows forward and then set that pose is going to make or break it for you. And again, when it comes to these top level shows, going for your pro card, one pose, one situation can mean a loss or a win for you.
All right, we're gonna move on. I know this is classic physique, but we're gonna have them do the back lat spread. All right? All right, back lat spread. Reset, do it again. Here we go, back.
Again, guys, for classic physique, back lat spread, front lat spreads aren't the criteria, but we're just going over this so we can make sure you guys are getting that information you need. So same thing, starting from the ground up, guys. Always start from the ground up. Get that foot set, get up on your calf, squeeze that calf. The more you get on the calf, the more you're gonna get on that hamstring. I'd like to see you get up a little bit more on that. Bring that foot back a little bit. Gotta open the hips up a little bit, a little narrow on that shot.
Reset, bro.
My much better looking cousin, Joe Sullivan over here, made a great point about Brock's shoulder mobility. He's not having to round forward here. He's keeping his chest up. And I would always tell athletes that it's like pulling your chest up with a drawstring. And so when he's hitting that back lat spread, his hips are in a good spot, his hips are open up. You see that he's not rounding forward. And that's allowing him to get wide, but also keep the depth in his back. We see a lot of guys getting that lat spread, and they round forward, and then they do this lean back to get their chest up. They've completely flattened their back out and lost that three-dimensional look, especially through the mid-trap.
And also be aware that that is also dependent on how you're built and how your physique is built. Because again, posing is not one-dimensional, all right? There are the basic fundamentals of it, and then you also got to make sure that you're tweaking that pose to fit your physique. Does that make sense? Because sometimes people round their shoulders out and then they lose their rear delts. Sometimes people can round their shoulders out and their rear delts are still there and they're still showing thickness. It's all depending on how you're built.
One more time, guys, back lat spread. The other thing you guys want to look at is balance. We talked about negative spacing. When you look at where their shoulders are, when you look at where their knees are, everything is lined, comes in that upside down triangle, and then it comes back out to the flared legs, the flared knees. You see it on both these guys. All three are doing a great job. They're staying wide through the shoulders, nice and tight down here, and then they have the same balance from their shoulders down to their knees, creating that taper that we're looking for. Sometimes you see guys in way too narrow and the shoulders are this wide, or they're out way too wide with way too much negative space. Be mindful of the negative space as you're hitting some of these poses, and relax.
All right, abdominal thigh. What are we looking for here, Jack?
To dispel the myth, we are not looking for a vacuum here. There's no mandatory vacuums. You do not need to hit a vacuum. You're not getting extra points for hitting a vacuum. I can tell you that.
Y'all heard it there first. Y'all heard it here first.
The biggest thing you see all three of them is they have their quads flared, one leg out in front, showing that dominant quad. They're all sitting back on their hip. The more they sit back on those hips, the smaller the waist is gonna look, and they're staying upright, pulling those abs in. And as they're pulling their intercostals in, staying tight, they're also pushing their abs out, keeping their obliques in nice and tight. And that's the balance there, having that abdominal control, Joe.
Yeah, and it's also dependent, again, I keep saying this, posing is not one-dimensional. You gotta find what fits your physique. Sometimes leaning back a little bit more can work for you, staying upright, or crunching over. But you gotta make sure that you're being meticulous to figure that out for yourself, or with your posing coach, all right?
All right, gentlemen, let's see a classic. Joe, don't do it, man. Joe. Let's see a classic physique pose.
And also, while these guys are up here giving you all of this advice, let's make note in the back of the room to maybe tone down the conversations, because this is incredibly valuable information to give to the competitors up at the front. So if you guys are having those conversations, let's go to the lobby or respect the time that everybody is dedicating to not only be here, but also reach that culmination getting up on stage. Thank you.
Round of applause for Joe Sullivan breaking it down. Guys, be quiet in the back.
Favorite classic pose?
Guys, and this is an opportunity to show your most aesthetic pose that you absolutely can and try to bring it across the finish line and get that win.
Jack, I got a question. What are your thoughts on competitors dropping to the ground on this?
9 times out of 10, it does not help you.
I heard that.
Probably 9.9 times. I've seen one short bodybuilder do it once. Flex did it once. It didn't work for him. Don't do it for anybody else, all right? You gotta show yourself the most balanced aesthetic position you can. Down on the ground is not it. And I'm telling you guys, there are multiple shows that are so close, they come down to that final pose, that classic pose or the most muscular pose, and they're doing some sideways funny stuff because they think they're special and they ruin their chance to get that final point scored for them. But when you look at all three of them, the biggest thing that I see is balance from top to bottom. They're hitting the same pose, they have a different stance. One has their leg back, the other one has their leg forward, but they have the same spacing between their legs, keeping that bottom part balanced, keeping their waist in nice and tight, always controlling their midsection, and staying wide across the shoulders, especially in classics, showing that nice tight taper. You see all of them have their hips back, all of them keeping their hip flexors on point, showing separation from top to bottom. These guys deserve a round of applause.
Hey guys, so I want to talk to you guys about something that really involves all classes, okay? So posing is about communicating with the judges. You are constantly communicating with the judges. So people tell me like, what do you mean, Tamer? Like, I'm on stage, I can't talk to you. Well, 90% of communication between two people are no verbal, okay? 10% is verbal communication. So let's apply that to actually the stage. Number one, you should be smiling at all times. And I'm sure your coach tells you, hey, do not forget to smile. Smile is very important. It creates a positive attitude on the judges. And then you think, oh, posing is not important. I don't care about posing. It's about my physique. And then you come there, you're nervous, you don't like have adrenaline, and then you go walking to the stage, and you're all ready, and you go like this. And then you come back and your coach like looking, you're all scared, you're like, what happened, coach? I smiled. Well, obviously, if you didn't train, you didn't practice, you're not gonna be able to do that correctly. So smile to the judges all the time. Second, eye contact. Make eye contact to the judges. So I'm looking at her. What it does, it forces the other person to subconsciously look back at you. Now, Sandy, me, Jack, we're not gonna be looking at you all the time because we're going looking, we're talking to each other. But like if that person's looking at me all the time, like I gotta look at that because it obligates me to look back at you. In that 1 second, it make a lot of difference. I know we say have fun. Yes, you should have fun. But honestly, it's not fun pressing your whole body and trying to smile. It's work. You're trying to get your pro card. You spent a lot of money and sacrifice on that. So it's work. You need to pose from the time you come in the stage to the time you leave the stage. Okay? We see this all the time. Me and Jack and Sandy, we're confused about two competitors. So I go to Sandy and say, Sandy, what do you think? You like more number 6 or number 7? So number 6 is right there already looking at us. And number 7 say, oh my God, I wish I could be eating pizza right now. It's like relaxing their stomach. So this is very important. Pose every single second you're on stage. Third, do not pose excessively. You may think that's a good thing, but if you remember, what did I tell you on the beginning? That posing is an art form. The art of what? Showing your attributes and hiding your flaws. Just think logically. What do you think will happen if you show me more poses? More possibilities than showing more flaws. So choose carefully the poses that you're great on and show me those poses. Don't show me poses that may expose some of your flaws. Okay? So those are things that apply to every single class. Just one last thing. Posing, one last thing very fast. Posing is about your feet. 90% is about your feet. So when you're doing, I saw the guy like doing here, the side pose, okay? So if you keep your feet parallel to the line, you're gonna show your waist at a certain way. If you move your feet a little bit that direction, then you turn, what do you think it does? It creates more angles on your physique. So always focus on your feet. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, we're moving on to our men's physique division. Do we have any men's physique competitors? Where are men's physique competitors at? Oh, do we got a volunteer? Come on down. Who is this guy? Actually, Alex, yes. So we have IFBB Pro Alex Padron. Hi, Ron. You coming? Come on.
Is this
Come on,
a
come on, come on.
precursor for a few days from now? My goodness.
Jack. Come on. We want Chiron right in the middle. Make some space for the champ. Right in the middle. Dead center. Dead center. There he is. All right, gentlemen. Here we go. Face the front. Take it on, Jack.
All right, gentlemen, no elbows. Spread out, spread out. Give yourself some room. All right, so you guys is watching this. Again, this is all about that structure, the shape, and the aesthetic. We want to see the nice wide shoulders, round shoulders, nice round full chest, nice tight midsection. We want to see that separation, small waistline. You see they're pushing their hips back. And listen, you got one of the absolute best right up here showing you how to do it as he's getting ready for the Mr. Olympia right now, Mr. Chiron. A round of applause, folks, round of applause.
Wow.
All right, gentlemen,
walk, ladies and gentlemen, let's go for a walk.
Now, Jack, what are your thoughts on transitions going to the back?
Keep it simple. Gentlemen, the less time, the better. I can tell you, quit messing around up there. If Bill Sibilia was here, he would tell you right now, no bicep shots needed in men's physique at all whatsoever. Another thing, guys, sometimes you're gonna be on stage, there's gonna be a lot of you up here just like there are with these gentlemen. There might not be enough space. Do not be that guy trying to be cool with this elbow thing going on. That does not show you in a good light. Relax, put your arms down, take a step, the expediter will come out and sort that out. But don't be that guy in there rolling elbows trying to be tough in a men's physique lineup. It doesn't help, okay?
So what are we looking for here, Jack, in that back pose?
Very similar to front pose. We're looking for that back width and that back depth. Guys, this is where people turn around, they turn back to the front, and then they get moved out, all right? Back development, depth, width, aligned is one of the most important things that we see lacking across this division. And again, we're looking at Chiron right now. Rear delts, popping, upper traps, mid traps, all the way down to his erectors, full. All the way down the posterior chain, down into his hips. Lats nice and wide, from all the way down to his low ribs, into his hips. Great genetics here. This is what we were looking for. You see balance from his shoulders to his triceps. Something that we've been hammering these last 2, 3, 4 years. Guys, your arms, they're too big. It's not going to flow. You're not going to have that steady flow from the upper traps, from the rear delts to the triceps. All right, so you see balance, you see depth, you see whip, you see the lines. Guys, go ahead, relax. Take a deep breath. Let me say. Remember your number. Hit that back pose one more time, guys. We talked about the upper half, but the lower half is just as important. Guys, we want to see balance from top to bottom. And you see that in the big lineups. You see that in the Mr. Olympia with Ryan, with Brandon, with Chiron. These guys are balanced. They're not just top heavy. They have round glutes. They have the X-frame. You see the quads coming out on the side here. He's got hamstrings going on there. Chiron's got bigger legs than most of the bodybuilders in here right now. He's making his weight. He's full, complete, top to bottom, front to back. And relax. You guys can turn and face the front. Guys, another thing that goes a long way is your shorts. All right, we don't want to see them down to the knees. We also don't want to see these 4-inch inseams either. Right, a couple inches above the knee, just like my man here has them. They're tapered, they fit well. He has the waistline on point. Guys, we don't want to see these things pulled way down here. All right, keep them in line. We want them to fit that waistline nice.
So Jack, how important are the legs in men's physique?
Very important. Very, very important, guys. I know I've had people be marked down, not just because maybe they're not as developed through the back, because they are so top heavy and imbalanced, it just doesn't look right. You see the memes, you see the cartoons about dude skip leg day. You're not winning any show, whether it's men's physique, bodybuilding, classic, or 212, if you're that imbalanced.
If y'all didn't know, Chiron was making his way to do classic physique, and he was just burying his legs and hitting them hard once, twice a week, and his whole physique just started developing. So if your men's physique, working out, training your legs is very imperative to your whole overall growth. And as you can see, Chiron is shooting for the stars right now.
Yeah, I mean, let me echo that. That is the base, that is the foundation of your entire structure. Male, female, doesn't matter. You definitely got to be training your legs. You got to develop the glutes, the hamstrings. That's going to carry everything from the top down.
Anything else?
You know, same thing with the bodybuilding guys. Midsection is very important. I judged a Chicago pro this week, and we had an amateur walk in. Dude looked like he could have been a pro. I mean, he was stacked. Had muscle, great conditioning, was on point. I mean, the dude was ready to go. Stomach was out to here. And again, you know, he couldn't figure out why. He was lucky to be in the first call out. His stomach was so distended that it was just hard to even look at. He was too hard, he was too dry, there was clearly digestive issues going on there. That's not men's physique. We're not going for the biggest, hardest, gnarliest looking guy at all. And you will see time and time again, guys who aren't the brainiest or the hardest, but have the aesthetic, pleasing men's physique look, beat the freak in the lineup every single time, without a doubt. All right, so it's the aesthetic, very, very important. Keeping that stomach nice and tight through the transitions, through the posing.
All right, gentlemen, file off to the left.
Round of applause, gentlemen, thank you.
All right, we are moving into our women's division. Where are our ladies at? Where are our ladies at? Right, we're moving into bikini and fit model.
We're going to do a different thing. Rather than separating bikini and fit model, we're going to do them at the same time to showcase the very, very important differences between bikini and fit model.
Let's do that.
Just kidding. We're going to follow that same idea, but we're going to do women's physique and female bodybuilding together because there's been a very large discussion lately on women's physique standards changing, the criteria, whatever. They're very clearly defined as according to the judges, and we're going to use this as an opportunity to demonstrate exactly what the judges are looking for when it comes to women's physique versus female bodybuilding.
Okay, so we have women's bodybuilding on this side, and then women's physique here. Very similar posing with slight differences. We're gonna go through the mandatories. So ladies, let's go into that front relax. This is the very first pose that you're gonna hit when you walk on that stage, the very last pose you're gonna hit, so make sure this is a good pose for you. We're gonna go front double bicep.
There's no difference in the women's posing from the men because we're looking for the same body parts. It's all about knowing what your strengths are and be able to highlight your strengths and hide your flaws. Just like Tamer said earlier, everything up there is an illusion, what you show us.
We're gonna quickly go over quarter turns as it was similar to the men. So back into your front double bicep. It's gonna be front relax, front double bicep to quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right.
And well, again, just like with the men, you want to angle because you want to show the smallest waist that you can. Because again, as we go into divisions, structure isn't as important in some of the divisions, but obviously in women's bodybuilding and in women's physique, structure is important. You have to have that V taper. You have to have that waist. So you want to be able to highlight your waist the smallest that you can. And again, you're pushing that shoulder into you so that you get the fullness in your chest.
Okay. You want to make sure you're not facing directly to a side profile. And you want to angle your upper torso towards the judges. You're kind of creating an upside down triangle.
And nothing up here is easy. You just have to, as an athlete, you have to make it look easy.
Quarter turn to the right.
Everybody went to good posing classes. Well, because the men messed us up. The men's physique came along, and this stuff came around. Did you not? Did you not? Yes, you did. You messed up. You messed up my
Ladies.
bodybuilders. You messed up my figure competitors. Because the thing is, you have to remember, you want to show the roundness to the delts. You want this to the back. The minute you come up too high, you flatten this out. Okay? And you want to come back just a little bit that you can show that density in the back.
Back double bicep.
We have a bunch of good posters up here. And the other thing too, you have to remember, the quality of our athletes has increased so much over the last 10 years. So you as an athlete, no matter what division you're in, you need to be able to have cardiovascular for posing. You need to have posed your butt off so that you can hold it, because we see a lot of people start in the middle, and because they can't do it they end up moving out to the side because they sweat and they can't hold it. And right now, obviously, they're not ready for this. They were planning on being on the stage.
And just to touch on that, all of the women up here are fantastic posers. I'd like to take a moment to point out they all pose with Christina. That might be related, I don't know, but it's just something that I wanted to throw up.
Okay, ladies, quarter turn to the right.
It's all yours, Christy. I don't even know why I'm sitting here talking. Seriously, if all these young ladies pose with you, obviously you do a very good job at what you do. So go ahead and talk about why which way you put them and why.
So same as the other position, we want to make sure that we're seeing both shoulders, clearing lats, and as you can see, I'm showcasing both elbows as well. Again, we're just creating an upside down triangle, which is going to help create a better V taper. If she were to turn a little bit to the side, it's going to give you a whole different look. She's going to look very narrow. And quarter turn to the right. We're going to go into mandatories, where they're very similar. Women's bodybuilding does have 2 additional poses. So when they do the lat spreads, we'll just have you do your front relax. Okay, ladies, we're going to go back into front double bicep. As you see here, the women's bodybuilders are going to do, the only difference really is a closed fist versus an open hand. There's multiple ways to hit this pose, whether it's staggered or head-on, and it's just going to be what suits your physique best. Let's go into front lat spread, which is for women's bodybuilding. Beautiful. Same thing, we want to bring the elbows forward. We're just trying to highlight that V taper, make sure the shoulders are visible.
And real quick, and if I mess up and I say front lat spread, it's amazing. The women's WP just go right into it anyway.
They do love a front lat spread. We're gonna go into side chest. These are slightly different. Still, the main objective is to show off the chest. Women's do have the leg brought in, and the women do kick out the leg. We want to see a little bit of that hamstring as well as the chest. Anything else, Sandy? And ladies, let's face the rear for back double bicep. We also want to make sure transitions, that's where I feel the judges catch you the most, where you start to breathe because you are holding the pose. Transitions are intentional, so make sure you're working on those. Again, the only difference here is ladies have a fist where the women have the open hands. We want to make sure that we're always posing from the bottom and working our way up so that we're highlighting from the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, and then the back and biceps. Back lat spread. Women's physique, you can go ahead and do it too. This is a women's bodybuilding pose. And we're gonna go ahead and any side for side tricep. For the side chest and side tricep, you can turn to either direction. You don't have to do both. You're gonna choose your best side and make it perfect. Again, the difference here is, yes.
That's the other, just ask me, that's the other thing too. Sometimes I think things that came into being 15, 20 years ago, we still think, because one of the things I do get asked all the time for women's bodybuilding is, do I still have to buy 2 suits? Do I have to wear a plain suit in the morning? No, we got rid of that years ago. Sometimes the information doesn't get out, and that's why at these seminars, that kind of stuff, gets talked about. So the same thing too. Women's physique and women's bodybuilding, we don't say you have to do that side chest exactly. I have some women's physique that do it more like a women's bodybuilding. We just want to see the muscle groups that we're talking about.
Perfect.
And the difference between women's physique and bodybuilding is not poses. It's density and amount of muscle and the conditioning.
And last but not least, after side tricep, we're gonna go into abdominals and thigh. Fake it till you make it, yeah. There's multiple ways to hit this. As you see, Yanni over there is a little bit more to a side profile, as Amanda is a little bit more head-on. Levy has one hand on her waist. It's just gonna be what highlights your physique the best. At the end of the day, you wanna highlight your overall silhouette. And ladies, relax. That is women's bodybuilding and women's physique.
So now we will head into bikini and fit model. If anybody is a bikini athlete, we're gonna.
You're good. It's okay if I put my
Bikini
back
fit
in frame
model.
of you.
Anybody competing, come up. Two of the most popular divisions, two of the most compared, I would say, but still having key differences that we're going to touch on here.
Careful with the forward.
So sweaty.
So let's go fit model over here. And then bikini towards Sandy. Are you all fit model? Okay, just you, okay.
No other fit models. Thank you.
Let's go. Just be careful with this.
I don't want to cut.
Yeah, it was. I started it. It wasn't working. Lisa, go ahead and step in. There's another one over there as well.
You want to go in front of me since y'all are
Resident asshole, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to consolidate this. We're gonna cut, we're just gonna take from, we'll do individual breakouts. We have individual breakout sessions for a reason after this. Here, over, from here.
We just need like 5 bikini. Whoever raised their hand first, 5 bikini, 5. Okay. Step forward.
And they're actually
All right, done.
telling
Okay.
me how to step up.
So I saw 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
I'm going to go 10 total. Sorry about that.
And then fit model, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think we're gonna have you guys will have to sit down for us, please.
But we will do individual groups. Sorry.
You need to go right there, or you want to go? You can make it. Where do you want to go?
I was trying to pass it, but I didn't.
You trying to pass it? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I was going to keep on by
So if you're not part of it, you can go ahead and take a seat.
You're right where you want to go.
Okay, Chrissy, I'm going to say one thing here, because this is what we get all the time. Bikini looks like fit model now, fit model looks like bikini, okay? I am telling you, if you look at these 5 young ladies and look at those ladies over there, those athletes, you've got to be able to tell the difference. The density of the muscle is different, and you already see these athletes, because they have more muscle, they're going to look more conditioned already. I'm telling you, when you start to judge, the difference in the density of the muscle is so apparent to all my top judges. It's just a different look. Now again, not saying that sometimes somebody is in the wrong division, you know, because sometimes you are. That's the whole point of going to shows and competing, to see where your physique is going to fit the best, okay? But now I'm going to give my old lady speech, because nobody should be changing a division, though, where your passion is not, and how you want your and again, I'm talking about probably more than the women here, but because I'll have athletes come up to me and they'll say, well, everybody says I'm better in bikini, and I say, where, or actually wellness, and I'm like, what do you want your body to look like the other 300 days that you're not competing? Because if it's not in wellness, then you want to try to do the best you can in bikini. You never want to change all the work that you've done for something that you don't like when you look in the mirror. That's just the old lady in me. Okay.
All right, ladies. So bikini, let's get into that front pose, and my fit model, also your front pose.
I'm gonna let Miss Lorelai do the bikini.
Yes.
Because I think she knows a little bit, maybe not a lot, but a little.
Alrighty, Christina, I want to hear what you got to say about bikini. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious, you know, what they're looking for, the judges, the criteria. Cindy is going to be the best to respond to that, but there's many ways to show your assets. So here, to be able to see, first of all, I think the focal point is always the waist, right? Trying to keep your waist very, very tight into a pose where you can now show proportions, and you can then see, you know, more width to your shoulders, a straight clavicule, and then, you know, some shape down in there, even though we're on the front pose, okay? The judges still are looking for some kind of shelf in the upper glutes here. If you get some upper glute development comments in your last feedback, that's probably where it's going to be. So I think the best way to do it, once you decide on your side, is that standing leg. So the leg that is closer towards the judges, you can really play from being it completely straight to all the way facing the judges, depending on how your muscle look. Now, throughout my career personally, I've changed it about 5 times, okay? Depending on how my muscle were looking and how my attachment to my waist, etc., etc. So you can play with that. Then the other leg, the one that's away from the judges, you don't want it too far away from the judges, you don't want it too close, you don't want your calves showing, they don't give you extra point for calves, they really don't. So keep that tight, and what you want to create is a pelvic tilt enough. So with having your leg kind of parallel to one another, you're going to be able to push your hip back and then turn around while keeping your hip pretty much equal, or just a little bit tilted if you want a little bit of glutes. But then the push now, I'm saying a lot, but the push is also very important. If you're pushing to create something that is not there, a shelf or glutes, and you're forgetting about the whole picture, you have to think that the judges are seeing the whole thing as, again, a whole, because they're looking for proportion from top to bottom and from front to back. So don't push too much to create more glutes and lose your torso, and then just be looking a little bit funky. You're better off just standing tall and showcasing your muscle, and then just take time to build those muscles to be able to showcase it. So front pose, we see a good stamina here from our competitor holding their front pose. We're going to go into transition, face the rear. Transition here, we keep the foot close to one another. So you're basically going from your front pose, you're gonna slide one foot, pivot on this other foot, and you're gonna change from a T to another T. That's the easiest way to do it. You keep your glutes very, very high. You have to always think that the judges are basically from your point of view right now. So you don't need to push extra hard because you're gonna miss that upper glutes if you're pushing too hard. Because again, the judges are right there. And if you're used to pose in front of a mirror, that's some tips that you tend to forget. So once you do that, you can take a look towards the back, but ideally you wanna get into that back pose as quickly or as short step as you can for the judges to be able to see your physique into that back pose, especially if it's a strong asset of yours. So go into your back pose right away. Again, they all kept it very, very simple. It's one swing to open, one other swing to up with the other leg, and then you just stay there. Don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go into your pose, stay static, and as you can see, they're all standing pretty much upright. So they get the drill. They get the idea that if I'm sitting right here as a judge and I look at the physique, they don't just go, oh wow, she has great glutes. They go from the top and how does that look like from the whole sense of the picture, right? So the shoulder width is important. You don't want a lat flare, but you definitely want some shape over here that goes and ties into the glutes and then to the, to the bottom. Now, the foot stance, for majority of them, they are right underneath their armpit. I feel like the armpit distance is probably the best one. And then they all pretty much have the toes pointing forward if you want to point them out because you feel that your glutes are looking better. And then you have a little bit more shape. Again, if you tend to have less quads for whatever reason and it creates more shape with your open toes, you can play with that as well. But I think the most important part for back pose is just to stand tall and straight. Be able to really see shape again and muscle. All right, face front. Kind of the same idea. This transition is probably the worst nightmare of many competitors. Just takes a lot of time, but it's pretty simple once you break it down. And just going back into your front pose, again, as quickly as you can, especially in those mandatories with NPC. They're going fast, you should be fast. And not fast by you need to change your speed. It's more so like, how can I get it in a shorter time? So the less step, the better, I feel. And then that way you can, again, just go back into your front pose or back into the pose that the judges are actually asking from you and spend more time into it confidently. So holding this pose, it shows a lot more than just being able to do all those movements and fancy things because the judges are not adding up the points. They're taking points away from you. You have to remember that. So show your assets. That's it for me. What do you think?
I agree, everything she said. And then really quick, when it comes to the transitions and that back pose, very, very similar to Fit Model. I think the majority of the difference is that front pose. Other than the muscle maturity and conditioning is the difference, but transition-wise and back pose, pretty much identical.
Good job, ladies. Bikini showing up.
So Fit Model, let's move into the center. You can say the transitions again, that was good. Yeah. So for the front pose, this is the OG classic, used to be the bikini front pose. Basically what we're looking for is very similar to the...
Hey guys, seriously, in the back, keep the conversations to a minimum. I'm gonna take Joe's place right now as his deputy, but keep the conversations to a minimum. Again, this is something golden that you're gonna take on for the show coming up. So keep the conversations to a minimum. The lobby's right out there. If you guys want to have conversations, great. But this is rich information, so please be mindful of that.
Mark is much nicer. I will walk through the back and tell you to be quiet. So if you cannot be quiet, avoid the conversation with me. Keep it down. These people want to get this information.
Oh, yes. Okay. Shut the hell up. I'm just kidding. So back to this front pose. Basically, with every other category, we are trying to highlight the silhouette. So we want to showcase both shoulders, create a small V taper, and especially for bikini and Fit Model, we want to make sure that we're showing off that glute. You're going to pick one side, make it your best side. You do not have to switch sides. I always suggest to stick to one leg and then perfect it. Anything for the front pose?
No, I think it's good. Yeah.
For the transitions, we can do them a little bit faster and shorter here for Fit Model. So let me see you guys go ahead and do a 180 and face the back. So as you see, it's a little bit smoother. There's not truly like a pause in as they're transitioning and pushing their glutes back. It's kind of just a one full motion to the back pose. Back pose is the same as bikini as Laura Lee described it. Only difference is going to be the conditioning and the muscle maturity between the two categories. And then ladies, face forward. Again, it's just going to be a smoother, faster transition to the front. And thank you, ladies, for making all that.
Something to highlight, between, Sandy was talking about the difference between the categories of bikini and fit model. The suit that, the coverage that they're wearing is very specific to the fit model. And I think sometimes information get lost because we compete against each other. We kind of know what looks good on us, but at the end of the day, we're competing in a bodybuilding show that has rules. And I think to be good sport is to listen to the expediters and is to listen to the rules. So even though you like a little bit of less coverage and you like that it is in your butt crack, like I hear you loud and clear, but this is not the place for it. You want to be able to follow the rules and play the game right and just be good sport, even in bikini, and at the pro shows. You have instruction to not do the T-walk, and you would still have pros do the T-walk. Be mindful of your surroundings, and remember that you're there to compete and be competitive and listen to the judges and what they're asking you and the expediters to have a show run smooth. And you're just going to have a better experience overall.
And to that point, listening to the expediters, you guys were great for about 30 seconds, but I am telling you, if you do not keep the volume down in the back of the room, I will walk through there and ask you to go to the lobby. I can't really do much more than that, but just be respectful, guys. We paid money, come on. But for the sake of time, we are going to combine figure and wellness. We're going to have both of those groups come up at the same time. We will break them down individually, but now this will be figure and wellness. And I remind you guys, we do have the breakout sessions to ask specific questions based on your physique to the individual judges, to the individual professionals here. So if we have anybody who's a figure competitor, anybody who's a wellness competitor, and obviously let's keep it to like 3 to 5 people. Anybody want to come up and demonstrate? I know you guys don't want me to demonstrate. I ain't scared, obviously. Thank you, ladies. And dealing with my riffing. Who's speaking on this one? You guys, I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. Everybody looks great.
I know who should be speaking on this one is Mr. Tamer, since Brazil started wellness. But the thing is, the nice thing about wellness is that it actually is for a lot of women, because most women, we're not built like this. We're built like this. Our hips are wider, so we're narrower in our clavicle. Wellness is, again, if you're looking just for structure, wellness is the division for you, okay? Especially because we have a lot of young girls coming from volleyball, soccer, and they've already got all the lower body development, okay? So, but that is one of the things. Sometimes I get athletes will say they'll win a regional show and then they'll win their pro card, and then they get to the pros and they sometimes don't do as well. And it's because, at the lower level, it was easier to win that pro card. Now you're with a lot of the girls that have the structure, and what happens is when you look at some of the wellness, they're balanced. That upper body and lower body is balanced, and sometimes that can hurt you a little bit. And judges will say that, especially athletes that maybe come from women's physique or something, it's like you have to tone that upper body down a little bit because you want to display that imbalance. Okay, where wellness, I think sometimes we get lost in, is that wellness, you do have to be balanced, glutes and legs. And lots of times, athletes, again, that come from a track and field or a soccer, they'll come and they'll have the leg development. Okay, ladies. Okay, let's do the front pose. Okay? Oh, we have figure here too. Okay. So real quick though, wait, well, I'll be able to tell real quick. Let's move yous over here for figure. Okay? We should have done figure with yous with the women's physique because you're doing the same quarter turns. Okay, so do your front wellness. Again, for wellness, we want to see that imbalance between upper and lower body. Okay? We want to see the development of the leg. In figure, do your front pose. It's going to be no different than women's physique or any of the men. Again, the same thing. You want to show the tapered waist. You want to show as much of a X-frame as you can. And all three of these definitely fit that quam. Okay, so relax. Quarter turn to the right. Okay. Now here, again, even though you want that imbalance between the upper and the lower, you still want to bring in that waist. You still want to have hourglass. It's still the same thing. It's just that the top of the hourglass and the bottom is not balanced. Okay? So you want to show hamstring, glute development, quads. Okay? I'm going to finish well. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go. Okay, quick note on this. The number one mistake, and the judges don't want to see this when you guys are in your quarter turn, is if you bend your leg too much. This doesn't do anything extra for your hamstring. Stay nice and tall and upright. Same thing in your guys' front pose. You should not be leaning forward too much. A nice, tall, upright posture the entire time that you're moving through your quarter turns and your routine. Oh. So they're all doing a really good job, right? They're not overbending too much. We're not here. We don't need to worry about angling your entire chest toward the judges to where you guys are showing your whole waist. A 45 degree is fine, and you can push that back elbow forward to create shape in that back shoulder without fully turning your whole chest toward the judges. And quarter turn to the right.
And this is where wellness does a lot of times what all our other divisions do, because they think if they lean forward and push back a lot, it's going to make them look tighter. It's also going to make their glutes look a little bit bigger. It can sometimes, but I will tell you, in wellness, if you look at all our top Olympians, one of the things is the roundness and the development in that glutes. So you never want to push back too much that you're actually flattening your glutes a little bit.
You guys, also for wellness, you don't need too wide of a stance. Your heels should still be right about beneath your shoulders, give or take a couple inches, no more than that. Going wider does not do anything extra for your adductors. Keep it beneath the shoulders. And quarter turn to the right.
Just like you said, you don't want to sit in it too much and you don't want to lean forward.
Ladies, please face the front.
Who's going to be first-time competitors here? First of all, welcome. And second of all, you have to remember when you're in a show, especially a bigger show, and they split you on the sides, you have to remember that when you're on those side diagonals, judges are still looking at you, they're still judging you. Okay, thank you, ladies. Okay. Figure. Okay. Yeah.
Now we are heading into the open Q&A. I know you guys got inundated with a lot of information, but it's all respective to the individual classes that you guys are going to be signing up for. So this is now your time to lock eyes with me, because I'm the resident asshole, but I'm also the resident advocate. So if you have a question, if you feel like you're getting passed over, if you're not getting touched on, if something hasn't been discussed that you need discussed, tell me, and I will make it happen. So let's roll into a Q&A. Does anyone have questions? Yes.
just had a question about when you said you want us smiling up there the whole time. Does it matter, teeth or no teeth? I know that may sound silly, but when you're up there smiling the whole time, does it matter teeth showing, not teeth showing?
Look, I mean, you don't have computers judging you. You have like people judging you, and your goal right there is to create a subconscious positive impression on the judges. You know, and sometimes on shows like the USA's and professional shows, the difference between athletes is very slight. And I think like looking at the judges, smiling at the judges, and being very thoughtful about your transition poses makes significant difference on your results.
Maybe not even focusing on teeth or no teeth, but look like you're having a good time. Look like you're actually enjoying yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you on stage and you look like you're struggling with your poses and you're shaking, that doesn't look like a champion. It doesn't look like to the judges that you have spent time on a craft that you're trying to become a professional now. So, you know, if I'm in doubt between you and another guy, your body looks very similar, undoubtedly that will make a difference.
Questions.
Hello. This question is for Fit Model. When athletes are on the diagonal, we're seeing you should be in your Fit Model front pose, but sometimes athletes are in a bikini pose. So for Fit Model, when you're on the diagonal, can you clarify what exact pose you should be standing in for Fit Model?
Again, no matter what division you're in, and I'm sure they touched on that when we did men's physique, you have to remember what the judges are trying to assess your body at. So and again, I will tell you, sometimes it's so close between some of these athletes. So if I'm looking and I see 3 of the top athletes and they're all in the Fit Model and I'm trying to, I know these are my top 4, the one that's not sometimes can lose out because I can't assess what I'm trying to assess. And that goes for all, for all the divisions. Always think of the poses that, like for men's physique, the biggest thing is that front and back, bikini, front and back. That's how the judges need to, that's how we can assess you. And sometimes we're human. So we get frustrated because we can't see what we want to see and it could end up hurting you.
Any other questions? Left side, right side. Top.
Hello. This is a question for a Fit Model. I'm just curious, what are the most, top 2 common mistakes you see in Fit Model athletes on stage that you want to comment on? Thank you.
I think the biggest one is obviously the posing. I think, especially in the rear pose, in the back pose, we see this in bikini and in Fit Model. I think again, I'm talking to women here because it just seems like as women, our biggest thing is we want to make sure that we're conditioned enough. We want to make sure we're conditioned enough. So we do that leaning forward, which you have to remember, judges are like 2 feet below you. You narrow that upper body, okay? So now you lose that hourglass, okay? And you flatten out the glutes. And lots of times athletes, even with Fit Model, will say to me, well, I know I'm not tight enough back there. No. You want that fullness, you want that roundness. If you look at the top Fit Model athlete, you're going to see the development back in their glutes. Good question.
We got another one over here.
Can I just add something really quick here? So I think the 2 biggest mistakes any poser make, in my opinion, doesn't matter the division, is number 1, excessive posing. I think like many competitors think the more poses they hit is the better. The second, more common, is I love Lair Chapados. I love Chiron's physique, and let me just copy their poses because they're such a great posers. But if you guys pay attention to what we just said, every single person has different qualities on their physique and different flaws on their physique. So it'd be a tremendous mistake for you to just copy a posing routine from an Olympian that has significantly genetic differences from you.
Oh, right on the side. Question for the judges: what is the bigger factor when you guys are judging? Is it more a focus on the conditioning, muscle density? Is it the mass? Is it the size? Or is it the fluidity in the posing? And if so, what, as athletes, are we supposed to concentrate on first?
Well, that is I'm going to let Sandy's my mentor on the judging, but I'll let you guys actually answer to that. But I think that's a very complex question and philosophical that you just asked. It's 3 elements of judging, okay, that you should know. It's number 1, muscularity, okay? 2nd, condition. 3rd, symmetry and proportion. It doesn't matter which class you are judged on these 3 fundamentals, okay? Now, in bodybuilding, you are supposed to judge them equally, okay? Now, in classic physique, you're supposed to give a little bit more emphasis on the symmetry and the proportions, okay? Like bikini, maybe a little bit more on symmetry and proportions. But judges are a little bit different, you know? I'll give you like a crazy example. Like Sandy and I were judging Pittsburgh, and it was a huge fight between the judges because like you had Nick Walker and you had Derek Lunsford, and it was very close. And then on the abdominals and thighs, for example, some of the judges thought that Derek won that pose. Some thought that Nick Walker won that pose. Well, those are the best judges in the world, but it depends on the emphasis that you're giving to symmetry and the emphasis that you're giving to like condition and muscularity. It is a little variation from judge to judge, you know?
So is there a true ranking then, based off of what you just said, on what we're supposed to prioritize first? Or is it just based off each judge and the philosophy behind it?
Yeah, exactly. But all the judges, we're still going on the criteria. We're not talking about somebody was looking at Derek and somebody that was 5th or 6th. We're going back and forth between 1st and 2nd. Okay? So, again, as a judge, like you might have an athlete, and again, this is for any division, you might have an athlete that's really good in the front and then not that good at all in the back. Now, as a judge, is the person next to them maybe not quite as good in the front, but better in the back, so that percentage is they're more balanced, even though they're a little bit smaller maybe and not as good in one, in one pose. But I will tell you, and I've said this 44 years, always full muscle bellies and separation is gonna get you placed higher and give you longevity in the sport. But again, the biggest thing is today is you as an athlete have to be able to show me that physique at its best. Because I will tell you, again, just real quick, I did Masters Nationals a couple years ago. As the head judge, all the judges give you who they want to see. We were in the 40, I think it was, and I thought we missed an athlete. I brought somebody up there, posed. The guy I brought up was the worst poser ever. Okay, now you go backstage, coaches backstage. 2 hours later, they come back in the 40. He beat the 5 guys that he just lost to get his pro card because it was how he presented it. Okay, so you can have the best physique, but if you don't present it right, and we've all done this, you go backstage and somebody will say to me, look at my back, how can you tell me that my back is not the best? And you're like, yeah, but that's not what I saw on stage. So to get things, you have to have obviously the development, and I think separation is that fullness is always, if you look at that top Olympians, they're always, it's the muscle fullness, okay? But you still have to be able to present it. And just like Tamer said, the longer you're on stage, the longer you give us to find your faults.
Any other questions? Any questions? Left side, right side. Got some people over there. Miss. Right over here, miss.
My question's for Laura Lee. What would your biggest advice be for a first-time bikini competitor?
I've changed my advice over the years because obviously I started very young and now I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser. I've had a lot of experience, but I think I don't know if it's for you, first-time competitor. It's incredible. Welcome to this incredible world, but you know, to be present, to be all in, to not be ashamed of anything, you know, just go in there, try, and try again, and just get good at that. Never get ashamed, never let anyone tell you otherwise. You're gonna find your way, you know, and always go back to what feels right for you. And, you know, I have great people in my environment that wants what's best for me. And I've slowly developed, you know, my love for bodybuilding, and I can always go back to that. So always curate like that love for the sport through the gym, through the nutrition, or the things that you can bring to your friends or your family even. You know, it can change somebody's life that's close to you. You first always, but then close to you, and seeing the impact that you can make on just making decisions for yourself. It's a very great sport. I hope you embrace it with all you have. But again, we're talking about Gary Udit, but one time he told me, this should be a happy endeavor. If it's not bringing you joy anymore, there's really no reason why you should be on stage, because it's not going to be fun either way. It's not going to be fun for the judges either. So take your time with it, you know, be present with it, love it with all your heart, and just have a good run.
Test that. Okay.
This is more like a personal question for the judges when you judge. What is like one of the top things you are? What's one of the top things that you are looking as a judge that maybe you don't see as much on stage, you want to see more, like what we can work on as athletes? But yeah.
The question was specifically what we want to see more of on stage. So I think confidence, right? You know, just as Tamer mentioned, the smiling, being able to exude confidence on stage and have that translate from you to not just the judges, but the audience. You're trying to sell yourself, right? You worked hard, you've done your due diligence, you know, obviously persevered through some of the challenges through prep. So oftentimes competitors will get on stage and they don't showcase something that we are essentially looking for. Like Tamer said, the nonverbal communication. As I'm speaking and I'm looking around the room, as I'm talking and going like this, subconsciously a lot of you are saying yes. So the moment you come out on stage, say yes. Those nonverbal cues, those nonverbal communication, that plays a very major part, an aspect of not just objectively what we are physically judging you on, but also something you're trying to sell, right? The likability, the relatability. We've done all the hard work, so confidence number one. And also, like Tamer said, having fun, having a good time. If you're not enjoying this, what's the point? It's an expensive hobby for a lot of people. A lot of individuals want to monetize this and capitalize on it, but at the end of the day, you're trying to sell something that you've worked so diligently for. Showcase it, show up, enjoy yourself, and be out there to win, whatever that is to you, whether it's first place or the fact of the matter that you worked hard and you're getting on stage, you know, for personal endeavors and personal goals. So again, confidence, exude that, have that translate not just solely to the judges, but the audience. It's entertainment at the end of the day.
And also, too, you have to, when you get on that stage, if you know you look better, your physique is better than when you started, you're already a winner. You have no idea who's going to be on stage. You are trying to beat yourself. And if you've done that, you should walk out stage and you should look at every judge and go, I'm the best up here.
All right, ladies.
One more question, guys. We got time for one more question.
Left side,
First
right
hand that
side.
goes up.
Anybody up? Perfect. I got it.
So I was kind of curious, I know you guys are worldwide. How difficult is it for us here in the States to compete in a different country? If we want to go to Brazil, if we want to, I want to compete in Germany because I'm German. So how difficult is it for us to go into a muscle contest to a different country?
Hello. One of the things I'm so surprised with so many shows is why not more Americans compete outside of the United States. It's like kind of shocking to me. Like I have shows in Japan, in Vietnam, in Brazil, and I'm like shocked because there'll be a great like trip for you like to enjoy yourself and really compete at a high quality level. So I highly recommend American competitors to just look at shows of the NPC Worldwide outside of the US.
And as not a judge, but content creator, tell a story. Like, I'm not saying like ask people to be like, oh, like give me money to go on this trip, but be like, hey, if you're a personal trainer, coordinate, be like, I'm gonna look, I have this great physique, I'm gonna go give this seminar, do this workshop, tell this, make this part of the journey. It's like incorporate that and traveling into the storytelling, into your own journey. That's what I did throughout my powerlifting, completely separate, but it's a way to facilitate a lot more traveling. And if that's a dream of yours, make it happen. Like, do that, because there are the ways to make it. There are competitions. There are people who are putting incredible shows on out there. There are people that want to see you over there and do it. So just say, I'm going to set myself up to make that happen, whether that's through like personal training, online coaching, something, like whatever you have to do, just go out and do it, bro.
No, absolutely. Like I go to MuscleContest International. I mean, Christmas in Austria, it's amazing. We have a show there, like Japan, Vietnam, for you guys that don't know. Brazil is absolutely amazing. So just go to MuscleContest International, check an international show, and like you said, make a trip that's fun and market yourself as a competitor.
And just one more thing. Actually, before you guys start, or ladies and gentlemen, before you start posing, you said something that's actually extremely instrumental. It's the art of storytelling. When you're presenting and when you're posing on stage, tell a story. How do you stand out opposed to fit in from the rest of the competitors? What story do you want to exude, and how do you want that to translate to the judges and the audience? If you're there, look, at the end of the day, we judge practically every single weekend, thousands of competitors throughout the year. How do you stand out while everyone fits into this bubble that essentially is created within the NPC and IFBB? So remember, the art of storytelling and bodybuilding is about presentation. Thank you.
Beautiful. What a great way to end it. Now, guys, we're going to separate into those breakout individual groups for bodybuilding, classic physique, all the divisions. I'm not going to list them all, otherwise I'm going to forget one and then somebody's going to get mad. But we're going to break out into the individual groups. That's where you guys really lean into asking questions, ask for some individual feedback. Again, you have such amazing resources in this room right now. Let's capitalize on those to tell your story, to continue along on your journey, and make everything that you dream of absolutely happen.
Hello. Okay, before we break down, I just want to say something super short. Guys, the most important thing for every single one of you guys is really to enjoy the journey. I competed 40 times in my life. I lost 32 times. 32 times. I only won 2 times. Like that, people remember. That's the Mr. USA's. But all the 32 times that I lost, nobody remembers. Champions are defined not for the wins, but for the losses.
So thank you guys for being part of the panel. As we break out, Fit Model and Bikini, you are going to be on the turf area. Figure Wellness, you're going to basically plant right here, and male divisions. Figure and Wellness in front of the dumbbell rack, kind of through here. Bikini Fit Model on the turf by the mirrors. Men, you get to go in the cool area, which is the leg room. So maybe men's physique, I don't know if you guys are going to go there, but you should, according to the judges. Haha, jokes. I'll see you guys in there.
Thank you,
Men's guys, bodybuilders classic, go to the leg room. Men's physique guys, meet in the posing room.
Thank you guys for joining us. We will, we're going to end it here, then we're going to go back live in a few minutes.
Again,
as we do the breakout
classic in the
sessions.
leg room, open leg room, bikini on the turf. Wellness and figure, go towards the dumbbells. Wellness and figure towards the dumbbells. Women's physique and bodybuilding right here in the middle. Bikini, dumbbell. No, women's physique. Bikini on the turf. Yeah. Bikini and fit model on the turf. Fellas, men's physique, the posing room.